really easy, especially with not a lot of training in communication, to get into the idea that the way you communicate is just the way you communicate, and it's who you are as a person. And I think Straight Talk helped me realize that there are certain traits that we bring to our style that we can actually change and manipulate given the other person's style and understanding, and it helps us come together better. And until I really learned about Straight Talk and started really focusing on my own traits and skills, did I really start seeing that clearly. And through practicing moving to the center, it's helped me definitely bridge some gaps. Understanding what motivates people and kind of what data points or what factors are important to them helps me better prioritize and manage projects for people. So for example, when I know someone's a data head and that like numbers and facts and figures are really important, then I want to make sure they're part of a project in which that's happening. And vice to and contra to that, of course, if somebody's a real people person and relationships and connections really important, then making sure they're part of those campaigns and that work is important and also makes them feel more valued. So those things make me a better manager for sure. I'm a persuader, and so that means a couple things. I definitely like bottom line. I'm quick to make decisions. I want to get right to the business, and I don't need to do a lot of the hi, hello, how are yous. And I probably always knew that, but I couldn't really point to it. And I also always knew when I get an email from a coworker across the room that started out with like, hi, how are you? I hope your weekend's great. I would be like, oh my goodness, why are we doing that in email? And Straight Talk helped me realize that that was important to that person, and that's the way they always started all of their communications. So it helped me do better at adding that touch to my own style, but then also having, I think, more patience and understanding that that just feels good to that person. That's how they communicate. And it really opened my eyes, I think, to be more patient and try to adjust my own style to meet that a little bit more. And specifically, I have one employee specifically who very much is on the other side of communication styles than I. And both of us recognized that as we learned about Straight Talk, and we both very much made an active attempt to move closer together. So she started kind of backing off on a lot of the hi, how are you niceisms, and I started trying to add those, and I think it helped us really come together much better. I think a great example would be I had two team members who were the same style, and it was interesting because they had the same perception of one another, and it was kind of funny when we got to learn that they were the same style, and I really recognized like, oh, no wonder they're struggling a little bit because they're exactly the same, but they don't see it. And so during meetings, during times where we get together, just trying to keep that in mind and trying to ask them the right questions and help them frame the way they talk to each other differently so that they could get on the same page and really focus on their strengths and the things that made them common instead of the things that pulled them apart really helped me improve their working relationship. So that's one. And I'd say the other, again, in a team setting, especially of people that are really on opposite sides, bringing them together by focusing on both sides of the spectrum. So making sure that the connectors, the emotional side, that we're really bringing those points in and we're making them valuable while also not leaving out the facts and figures. Like everything that we communicate as a team has to include both those things so that both sides feel very, very comfortable. And then also if people are, not as strong in their leadership traits, or they're just learning, really making sure that they have a place at the table, that we don't lose their voice just because they don't speak up as much, that we ask them the right questions and get them involved. I think that those are all techniques that definitely I've used with my team to try to get them to work more closely together and communicate better. I think Straight Talk is really easy to understand, and I've seen that because we have staff who haven't actually been through the training, but we ask them to take the quiz and then we plot them. And I can actually explain to them myself, using my own words, what they're looking at, without, having lots of instructor training. I can explain it and they can get it. And I think that shows you that it's easy to understand. If I can actually explain it to somebody who hasn't been training, that's just looking at it for the first time, and that they get it and understand why we're doing it, then that's pretty much proof in the pudding.